everybody, and welcome back to SC2VN. My name is James Hurd, this is Chaos Signature, and last time we really just went through the prologue, which are like the introduction, which talked about what StarCraft 2 is and why it's so popular in Korea, because this is a visual novel about eSports, StarCraft 2 in particular, in South Korea. So we're gonna start the story now, and yeah, let's without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and let's start it. In SC2VN, you select the gender of the main character, Mach. The choice will mostly impact how he or she appears. The story differences are minor. Now, select the main character. I will go with the male version since I am a male, and yeah, begin the story as the male main character. Yes. Alright, that's good. That's a nice touch. It like kind of personalizes the character and lets you choose who you want to choose. That's awesome. Okay. There's a certain feeling that every StarCraft player gets before they lose. Most try to ignore it at first, as if the inevitable is just another challenge to fight through. Like their past mistakes don't count if they just try a little bit harder. It's a natural thing. To believe otherwise contradicts the hours we spend practicing. Still, every player must eventually come to terms with a defeat. That they have to queue up for another game, or maybe that they flew across the world for nothing. I haven't met many players that can take a loss in stride. It's painful. It's permanent. It's proof that your best isn't always enough. Long after my elimination, I remained at the PC with a blank look in my eye. Clicks shoot from my finger as I leap from page to page. The tournament update mentions my defeat in passing, but no one acknowledges it. When my frustration fades, I'm left only with guilt. I should have practiced harder. I consider sticking around to watch the final few games, but the knot in my stomach persuades me to avoid any more stress. People are nice enough to a foreigner with the heart to attempt a Star League qualifier. But without a win, I'm just one more in a long line of losers. Aw, poor main character. I'm sorry. It sucks to lose. Hundreds spend their best years chasing the eSports dream. 1 in 50 makes it. This is for those that don't. Oh, I think this is going to be a cool story, though. It seems like it's going to kind of bring up the main from the jaws of defeat to to victory. Every game of StarCraft begins the same. Gather resources, train a worker. I need to turn this down a little bit because it's getting loud. Construct a building, rally an army, defend a base. Contest the map, turn something small into something more. This game is punishing, it's stressful, it's draining, it builds you up and tears you down. It's not for everyone, it might not even be for me. How many more chances am I gonna get? Was that my last? Oh, the feeling is back. Why am I still trying? Why can't I quit? My fist rattles the desk and sends a plastic bottle onto the floor. With my chin in hand, I throw myself into the match replay. I force down a measured breath. Losing a throwaway ladder game shouldn't bother a player of my rank. Scout denial and my poor control of the final fight gave my opponent the edge. In retrospect, my mistakes seem obvious. I toy with the conclusion that he was hacking before realizing that I'm just making excuses. No, I should have been able to win that one. Despite the Grandmaster badge next to my handle, I find myself too anxious to queue up for another game. The loss at the Victory Star League qualifier earlier today isn't helping my mindset. I comb my tiny room with a look, restless and unmotivated. Sitting alone in a dark room for extended periods of time is incredibly depressing. A fact I learned only when it became a significant part of my life. Only one thing is certain, I've got to get out of here. Sometimes it does help to get outside and just get out of the confines of your apartment, if you're dealing with this kind of loss, this feeling of loss, there have been times in the past, like I mentioned during Without Within, there have been times when I wonder, is this really what I want? Do I even have what it takes? And sometimes it just helps to be able to just remove yourself from the situation just temporarily, like walk away from your computer or, go do something else and just try to remove your mind from whatever it is that's stressing you out. You know, like for example, for me it was my writing. So if I was ever feeling like that, I would just kind of just put it away, go play a video game, or put it away, go watch some anime or something. You know, it helps to be able to remove yourself from the situation a little bit. And I think in this case, it would help to get outside. You know, if you've been on the computer all day and you're really stressed about winning or losing, you know, it probably does help to get outside. After double checking that my apartment's door is locked, I hustle down the stairs and onto the sidewalk. Light grows with each step towards the shining skyline. Catchy pop beats and posters of flawless models dominate street after street. Foot traffic is thick and impatient. Seoul Tower stands tall from a distant hilltop. But even the lingering excitement of life in a faraway place can't dredge me out of my hopelessness. Sometimes, especially on days like this, I regret pursuing eSports. It's a thought that I had more times than I care to admit since coming to South Korea. Even saying that, I know I can't keep myself from competing. It's in my nature. And truth be told, this damn game is the only thing I'm good at. What is StarCraft? Some respond to that with an explanation on its game mechanics or its storyline. There are other popular answers too, that it requires the dexterity of a pianist alongside the strategic thinking of a chess player. Maybe that's what StarCraft is to most people, but to the hundreds that carve a living out on it, StarCraft isn't such a simple thing. It's the embodiment of competition, a perfect playing field. No need for athletic genes, rabid parents, tutting tutors, or expensive summer camps. You pick up the game on your own. You learn, you improve, you work. If you're good enough, you can become a god. And if you fail, you stay a nobody. I'm not building towards a long-term career. I'm friendless in a foreign country. I'm respected by no one. And if I don't qualify for the VSL next month, I'll be back home at square one. I'll be nothing. But hey, at least I play video games all day. It's gotta be nice. I mean, regardless of the whole win-loss ratio, it's gotta be pretty cool to be able to just play video games. I mean, it's especially if you like to play video games, you know? Are you completely sure you haven't forgotten anything? Do you have enough money for the cab when you land? Are you sure that the apartment got your money? Is your cell phone charged? You bought an extra charger, right? Mom, I'm fine. Please, nothing bad is gonna happen. Remember, there won't be anyone to do your laundry, cook your meals, or wake you up when you oversleep. Budget well and you'll have 2 months. I won't hear anything about a loan for the flight home. It takes effort to keep a frown from my face. I'm certain that my parents came to see me off only so they could say they did. I've already sunk the entirety of my savings into this. Now isn't the time for second thoughts. My dad gestures towards the security line and taps his watch twice. Go on. The sooner this is over, the better. Oh, come back in one piece, son. Nothing comes when I think of how they respond, so I only nod. Without another word, my parents would walk away. Oh. He has to make his own mistakes. I tighten my fist, pace quickening. Even though I want to prove everyone who's doubted me wrong, I'm tired of losing for no one's sake but my own. With the sun long set, overhead signs wash the streets in color. I've wandered so far that a walk back to my apartment would take almost a half hour. My renewed drive to practice my craft drives my search for a place to play. It's not long before I see the words I'm looking for, PC Bang. The amount of foot traffic suggests that it's a pretty popular internet cafe. A sign on the front window reads, Golden Zone Fire. Though I've only visited them a few times, PC Bangs are one of the things that interested me most about Korea when I first got into StarCraft. Duking it out for a champion status of a neighborhood cafe is old school cool, like the type of western where a sheriff defends his turf against upstarts and outlaws. It's an ideal that is a little bit dated these days. Most StarCraft 2 competition takes place either online or in broadcast studios. I'll admit, I've daydreamed of being born a decade earlier and playing the original esport, Brood War, during its rise alongside the PC Bang. A better time, or so they say online. I trundle up the stairs and pass through the doorway, immediately struck by the size of the place. There has to be at least 80 computers. The crowd is too large for an ordinary evening. There are more people than there are PCs even. I indulge my curiosity on the first person I see, a dark-haired guy observing a match of SC2 from behind someone's shoulder. Excuse me, is there an event going on? The guy turns and looks at me like I'm speaking something other than Korean. After a brief silence, he responds. Are you new or something? Have you not heard of All Out Attack? Yeah, I am new, just asking. He hums and glances away for a moment. Though he doesn't apologize, she does fill me in. Golden Zone Fire hosts a StarCraft 2 tournament called All Out Attack once a month. It's one of the few places you'll find a decent player outside of an online cup or a Star League. It used to be a Brood War tournament, actually. I see. Thanks, man. Who are you here to cheer for? He only stares in response. The guy walks away with a shake of his head, mumbling something about foreigners. The back of his shirt sports the Korean Pro Gamer Association logo. Oh, he must be a Brood War fan. None of the StarCraft teams under KPGA's regulations compete in anything except the original game, Brood War. Understandably, they don't want to fracture a scene they've worked so hard to build up. And that's lucky for those of us trying to keep from drowning in a game that's already deep with talent. KPGA players train for unbelievable hours. Well, I came here to practice, and now I'm presented with an excellent chance to do so if what that guy said is true. A few stares follow me as I walk forward to put my name on the sign-up list. I must look like a tourist in over my head. I'm definitely not the first foreigner to go abroad for eSports, but most come to South Korea only once they have the results or fame. After paying for an hour's worth of PC time at the front desk, I settle for a station that has a mouse and keyboard similar to my setup back home. A few minutes later, I join my opponent's game lobby just in time for the start of the final round. Or first round? I don't know. His name isn't familiar, so I check his profile to see he's ranked midway through Master League. Not bad for a casual player. He seems eager enough by the rate he's spamming go in the pregame chat. The game gets underway once I confirm that I'm ready. Workers, minerals, Vespine gas, and a command center. I start out every match with only those resources at my disposal. It's my job to turn them into something that can defeat my opponent. Generally, that means I need to build structures capable of training units for my army. My build order determines how the end of the matchup plays out. This game, I've opted for a quick Hellion attack. Not only will it offer me a chance to deal some damage to my opponent, but it will also allow me to scout. But it seems I don't have much to worry about. My opponent went for a greedy build order, focusing entirely on his economy instead of his army. Unfortunately for him, the match isn't going to last long enough for that risk to pay off. My Hellions take short work of his single queen and a handful of Zerglings. With his front line out of the way, I'm free to rush into his mineral line and roast his workers, denying him the resources he needs to muster an army. Facing down a marine reinforcement, it's not long before my Zerg opponent types out the 2 letters. GG. Easy. As soon as the victory screen displays, anxiety floods out of my body. StarCraft is tense. It isn't an exaggeration to say that there's never a moment to relax until a match is over. Bristling with confidence, I get up to check my next opponent. And it's Excel. I draw my lips in a line and let my soul shoulders slouch. Well, that's the end of this tournament run. Excel is one of South Korea's strongest Terran players. He's well known for his old school cred, balanced playstyle, and friendly banter. He lost in a round of 8 of last season's VSL. A respectable finish, if not a high-paying one. From what I remember, Excel was a damn good Brood War player, but he was out of his prime when the sequel hit last year, so it makes sense that he switched. While I'm considering what sort of rush I should do to steal a win, I feel a tap on my shoulder in turn. Huh, so you are a foreigner. And find none other than the man himself standing there. This is a bit surreal, considering I've followed Excel's play for about as long as I've been into StarCraft. Luckily, his nonchalant manner disarms my surprise. I'm gonna have to go ahead and say goodbye for this time, this video. I will be back with more of this. This is actually really interesting so far. I'm really impressed with the art style and music, and just the writing is pretty good too. So I'm going to come back with more episodes very soon. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, please like, or if you disliked it, please dislike, and let me know why you dislike and what I can do differently to earn your patronage. And until next time, I'll see you later.